I hope your day is going great, and this is Smart 24, and this is where we give you the best of business broadcasting. It's just all about driving business. And welcome to Financial Markets, and my name is Julius Subuga, and I'm going to be taking you through what is happening in the world of finance. And of course, we still, as we're getting to our first segment, we're going to be looking at the Bank of Uganda website and what is basically trending over there in terms of interest rates, the CBR, and of course the Forex and how they're basically performing. And well, we still don't forget that we recently lost a general for Bank of Uganda, and that is Dr. Emmanuel Mutabile, the former governor for Bank of Uganda, and we still really respect the good work that he did, and may his soul rest in peace. Well, let's now get started with what is happening. Well, the Bank of Uganda still maintains the central bank rate at 6.5%. Well, that is basically something that we the CBR is basically standing at 6.5%, and well, the CBR is a very, very important. It's a very important rate because it determines at what interest rate you and I will actually get money. So it is very important for us to basically follow up as business people and as entrepreneurs, policymakers, and also as development partners. So the CBR still stands at 6.5%, and we saw that basically happening at the end of last year. So it came from 7% to 6.5% as of last year. So it is still at that. So let's now actually get to look at the Forex, just right down there. Just right down there. So you can see that we have the latest Forex updates as to how the currencies are basically performing. But of course, well, these are basically opening figures, and we don't have the midday figures yet, and we don't have the closing figures as yet. But as you can see over there, we are basically having the US dollar opening at about 3,508. That is 3,508.78, and that is the rate at which it is buying. That is the US dollar. And well, we have more actually coming up, but I'll ask my producer to make this actually more clear, because it's actually not clear over here. However, okay, yeah, so basically we are basically, that is it. We shall get the Forex later. Let's now get to the interest rates in Africa and how they are basically performing. So the interest rates in Africa and how they're performing, well, this is how they're performing. So we have Cape Verde. We have the last is at 0.25%, and the previous is 0.25%. So it is basically, there has not been any change in Cape Verde. And just right over there, as you can see, Comoros, it's the latest that we have is 0.98%, and that is for Comoros. So we have for Morocco 1.5%, and that is the rate at which they are basically borrowing money over there. And in Mauritius as well, we have money being lent to commercial banks at 1.5. Just recall that the central bank rate is the rate at which the Bank of Uganda, or the central bank, lends to commercial banks. Then from there, you and I can be able to basically go to commercial banks, though there is a premium, but you and I are able to basically get the money at a rate that has been that has been a bit of marked up by commercial banks. So if it is 6.5, well, basically you may actually have to borrow at something higher than that, basing on where you want to basically borrow from. So we have Seychelles as well. Seychelles, just down over there, you have Seychelles is a small country as well, and their exchange rate is basically 2%, as you can see over there. Then Libya, Algeria is at 3% as well, as you can see over there. Algeria, remember, is in the north of Africa, and it's not one of the countries that are termed to be sub-Saharan. So, but however, the CBR over there is at 3%. So let's have a look at what's also happening in Libya. Well, Libya, you can see that the interest rate over there is at 3%. When I say interest rate, it means CBR. Remember, the CBR is the interest rate that is the base interest rate, we should say. So it is the rate at which commercial banks borrow money from their own central banks, so that you and I can be able to borrow some bit of money. Yeah, so let's have a look at now Gabon. It's at 3.25%, as you can see over here. That's for Gabon. Yeah, so as of October 2021 last year. So they haven't much have changed, as you can see. So we have as well Cameroon. Cameroon is at, when you go to Cameroon, you'll find the interest rates over there at 3.5%. That's the base interest rate. Yeah, so it is the CBR. And of course, also when you go to the World Bank statistics, you'll find that the CBR, or probably the central bank rate, is termed as the interest rate because it is always the base interest rate. Yeah, so let's have a look at Cameroon as well. We said it is at basically 3.5. So Central African Republic, as you can see over here, is at 3.5. And well, these are basically figures that are a bit lower than Uganda's. That means the cost of borrowing most of the time when you have a lower central bank rate means that you can actually borrow money at a lower interest rate from the commercial banks because yes, it is marked up, but you will certainly get a bit of a lower interest rate when it comes to 3.5 compared to 6.5 for Uganda as the central bank rate. So let's have a look at Chad as well. You have Chad over here. It's at 3.5% as well. So many of these countries have kept their CBR rates, their CBR monies at 3.5, as you can see, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad. Equatorial Guinea is also a small country over there. It's keeping us its CBR at 3.5. Just recall that many of these commercial banks in Uganda basically do coordinate in a way, and you will find some of them basically having this almost the same interest rates. That's the CBR, I mean. But it is very much important since that we have the African Continental Free Trade Area, where the interest rates between countries well can be very much monitored because that also has an impact at which you will basically have to trade or to buy. So it is very important for us to note that the CBR is a very, very critical figure or economic parameter when it comes to business and when it comes to economics. And so let's now have a look at Republic of the Congo. Well, you have the interest rates as well at 3.5%, just right over there, as you can see. And it just means that many of these countries basically coordinating and keeping their interest rates at that, their CBR. So Botswana is also one of the most innovative countries in Africa, and among those countries that are basically promising, their interest rates are about 3.75%, right over there, as of late. And you can see Lesotho at 3.75 still, a very small country down there in the south of Africa, and Swaziland as well in the south of Africa, 3.75%, Benin at 4%, Burkina Faso 4%, Guinea-Bissau 4%, Ivory Coast 4%, Mali 4%, and Namibia 4%, Niger 4%, Senegal 4%, and these are the latest winners of the African Cup of Nations. They have their interest rate or their CBR kept at 4%. South Africa over there, well, they have a very quite a very vibrant stock market, as we're going to be seeing later on, and they are keeping their CBR or their interest rate, their best interest rate, at 4%. So you have also Togo at 4%. Now you find that Mauritania is also keeping their CBR at 5%, Rwanda at 5%, Tanzania at 5%, Tunisia as well at 5%. Remember that Tunisia is also not in the sub-Saharan Africa. So, but however, Rwanda, as you can see over there, just trying to compare Uganda's interest rates with Rwanda, they're basically a bit of keeping the factors constant. A lower interest rate, a lower CBR most of the time indicates that you have indicates that you actually borrow money from commercial banks at a lower cost. But however, it's not always the case, because you can have the central bank rate at 5% and yet have the commercial bank rate at 30%, and that is by all standards quite not a very good economic kind of indicator. So we also have Ethiopia. Ethiopia is one of the most populous countries in Africa. They're keeping their interest rate at 7%. That's the CBR. So the CBR is at 7% over there. And Kenya as well has been having they have been having the interest rate kept at 7 for quite a long time. And we have seen Uganda kind of cut back. All these measures have basically been as a result, or probably in the bid to boost the economy and to allow money to flow so that you and I can access money. You can see that Uganda is at 6.5%. So we believe that probably that's a very good figure for now, because money is basically more accessible. And we shall be bringing you also the latest interest rates from commercial banks right from Uganda. And I believe that many of you are business people and you're basically borrowing money here and there. And I think that it is going to be very, very much important to keep your eyes on the interest rates. A change in that 6.5, it means very much to business as well. So let's have a look at Kenya as well. They have kept their interest rates at 7%, just like you see over there. And Kenya is one of the most innovative countries in Africa as well. They have a very vibrant stock exchange market. And we believe that probably this time round it's been a very rare case to find Uganda's interest rate lower than Kenya's. It's most of the time been, as of 2020 and 2021, it's been Uganda's interest rate a bit higher than that of Kenya's. But we can see Kenya's this time is a bit higher. So that really has a lot of economic in economic terms, it has a lot to say. So you have Burundi as well. Burundi, they have the interest rates at 7.06%. That's the CBR. Remember, the CBR is what we're terming as the base interest rate, because it's basically the major interest rate, we must say. So as we can see over there, Madagascar has they have their interest rates over there at 9.5%. If you think of investing in these countries, you must also look at the CBR, because you may actually want to borrow some bit of money here and there, and you basically will need a bit of knowledge on the interest rates over there. So, however, these are basically best interest rates. You have to find out what the commercial banks are charging if you're to invest in Nigeria, if you're to invest in Madagascar, Zambia, and so on and so forth. So, looking at Zambia, the interest rate is at 9%. That is 9% over there. You can also look up for also their commercial banks and see what they're basically charging if you're to borrow from them. The Gambia is keeping its interest rate at 10. That's quite a higher one. And many of these countries down here, as we shall see in the coming, in these other countries, they're basically having their interest rates on the higher side. And so as they come, they are basically they're in ascending order, right from the highest to the lowest to the highest. I think we should say descending order. So basically, as you can see, the Gambia is at 10%, Guinea is at 11.5%, Nigeria, if you're to borrow money in Nigeria, the interest rate over there is 11.5%. Nigeria, the biggest economy by size, by GDP. And of course, as you can see over there, it is basically at 11.5%. So South Africa, we say just up, but they're basically at, but they're at a lower interest rate, about 7% per se. Yeah, so you'll find that Nigeria is basically their interest rates are a bit high because well, that is something to be noted. Because Nigeria, by all means, is the largest economy in Africa. Well, we must also remember that South Africa is the most developed country in Africa, but it doesn't mean that it is the largest by size. So economic growth and economic development are kind of different things. So you have growth caters only for size, but then development caters for size and also quality. So all these basically have to be kept in mind. So as we have our screen back with the Forex, with more of the interest rates and how they're performing in different countries, and that is the CBRs. Yes, they're here. So now you have Nigeria, as we say, at 11.5%, and that is to be noted because Nigeria is a big economy, and many of us are basically maybe having businesses over there in Nigeria. Malawi is at 12%, and South Sudan is at 12%, Mozambique at 13.25%, and well, South Sudan, our neighbor in the north, is at 12%. And so basically you will find that it's a bit on the higher side. It's been basically suffering a lot of economic wars and civil war, and so you have the interest rates, no wonder, at that rate. And so it is very important to note that South Sudan has its interest rates on the higher side. But however, keeping other factors constant, it doesn't mean that you can't make money over there. So you just have to assess the other economic parameters, and then probably you can a bit of invest, or probably provide some bit of advice to someone that wants to invest over there. So you have Mozambique as well. Mozambique is a country just right there next to Mozambique, to Zimbabwe, and it's just next to the Indian Ocean. It has its interest rate, or CBR, at 13.25%. So that is quite very much important to note over there. So Sierra Leone is at 14.25%, and Ghana, one of the most developed countries in Africa, has its interest rate at 14.5%. And that is something to be noted as well. I think Ghana is a very critical country in Africa, and when it has its interest rates at 14.5% is something to be noted. That is as of last month. So Angola as well has its interest rates at 20%. Well, Angola has been, of course, a country in Africa, one of those leading countries in Africa that have been developing at a very fast rate. But however, of course, there have been a lot of controversies about the country as well, and its former leader. But anyway, keeping that aside, you have Angola having their interest rates at about 20%. Liberia at 20%, as you can see over there, and Sudan has its interest rate as of November 2021, last year, at 21.6%. Wow. Well, Sudan is, their CBR, who are being quite high, is quite something to be noted because of the political instability over there. And you can basically try to see that the different economic and political parameters have a lot to do with all these economic parameters. And then Zimbabwe has its interest rate at 60%. Well, Zimbabwe is a country for a long time that has basically had a lot of economic struggles since the time of the late Mugabe. But you can see over there that the interest rate is at 60%. Wow, that is quite something to be noted. And 60%, I should say, is not a very good economic parameter. And so we continue to, so we are basically seeing the real aftermaths of a country that has gone through a lot of political and economic turmoil, Zimbabwe over there. So, well, you may want to actually go down there and see what their the commercial banks are basically charging, 60%, as you can see. So Zimbabwe has the highest. If you asked what country in Africa has the highest interest rate, well, that is by all standards Zimbabwe. So, and also we have also noted that Zimbabwe has had in previous years under the reign of the former president, even now, still facing a bit of challenges here and there with inflation, and we should basically be bringing you more of that information in the coming few moments. So, still looking at these countries, you can see over there that it is very important to note that all these countries are, the way we've mentioned them, are basically in ascending order. And so it is very important to So let's now go for a very short commercial break, and we're going to be back with the GDP annual growth rates for the African countries, and also bring you the best of business broadcasting in the coming few moments. We'll be right back.